Are we on? No, I don't have my camera on. I do that every time. It's like I don't have it on. Ayla, hi.
Hi.
Thanks for taking some time today and joining us. I really appreciate it.
Oh my goodness, who am I with here? How many people are in the
All
room?
right, so I got 9 student journalists here at Michigan State University. They'll be piling over in a second. And we're here at a summer camp. They're from publications from around Michigan and one Ohio person. We forgive her for that.
Oh gosh.
I've been picking on her all week about that. But
so funny. Also majored in.
All right, we just started locking up here. Hang on. All right, looks like it's back. We lost you there for a second.
Sorry.
We lost you. No, whatever that was.
I was just plugging in my charger,
so
I wouldn't lose you guys.
Oh, fair enough. All right, well, I'm going to turn it over to them because they're the ones with the good questions, and they're going to introduce themselves to you and fire away. Come on over, guys. Come on.
Come on, people. Okay. Hi, my name's Anna Weigel. I write for the Emory in Ann Arbor, Michigan for Huron High School. We're here on Michigan State University's campus. You were a basketball star and went to college on a full ride. What made you choose a career in music over a career in basketball?
Oh my gosh. So I always tried to do both growing up, and college was really the only time where I had to choose one or the other. So I went to Boston College on a scholarship, and that's the big key here. I got my education totally paid for by BC, which, for anyone, they would be silly to pass that up. And basketball was always something I was really hard at it. But my heart was being pulled toward music. And so when I graduated from BC, I always felt like there was something missing. And I think it was that artistic side of me that just wanted to express myself. And there was something nice about not having to be yelled at by a coach at practice. So that was one of the main reasons why music was definitely in my immediate future after BC.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Oh, yes. Hi, I'm Margaret Pizon. I'm with The Observer from Shrine High School. It's outside of Detroit, Michigan.
Cool.
So one of my questions was, would you have ever continued your basketball career if you had the chance? And if so, where would you think you would go? Like, if you hadn't chosen music?
I think if I had and the opportunity, I would have loved to play overseas, because that is one of the best ways to see the world, is when you have an opportunity to do so. And I've kind of been able to do that in a non-basketball way. I've been to 13 different countries to sing for the troops, which I know is totally different than the sports, but I've been able to travel to so many different places and experience new things. Had I in the basketball route, I really would have pushed to go overseas, not only because I would have loved to travel the world, but because it actually pays a little bit more and better than the WNBA. The WNBA has, kind of had its years of struggling because it's tough for women to get paid fairly and paid well in the WNBA, because there's just not enough revenue that the WNBA gets to pay well. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, I made the right choice. I'm doing what I love. I absolutely love music and singing and making people smile. And physically speaking, I'm saving my knees and my body, and I'm not like in miserable pain like I used to be.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like in an injury. I was like, oh, are you okay?
No. Luckily, knock on wood, I never had like a big injury. A lot of women get knee injuries. But I only had one sprained ankle, and then after I stopped playing, basketball, like my whole body went through this relaxation period and was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, you're not playing at this high caliber as you used to. And I think my body thanked me for that a little bit.
Good. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Emma Jacobs,
Hey.
writing for the Tower at Grosse Pointe South. I was wondering, how would you change your style to expand your fan base?
Ooh, great question. So I feel like over the years since American Idol, I've actually tried a little bit of everything. When I was first on the show, I was singing pop and adult contemporary, and that was the first record I ever released, was like a very kind of pop record. And then over the years, I feel as though I transitioned from that into like R&B pop, and now I'm just like country pop. So I think there's always an underlying formula of the pop genre. It's just in different instrumentation and production. But I think it's important for artists to always reinvent themselves to stay relevant. And whether or not that gains fans or loses fans, I'm not quite sure yet. But I think every year that I continue to do this, statistically speaking, I'm going to be meeting more people every year in every location. So hopefully they become fans of my songs and my music.
Thank you. Do you think that this would appeal to more younger fans or older fans?
Which part? The kind of becoming different
more
genre
open to,
or styles?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would say probably it appeals a little bit more to the younger base because they can grow with you.
Yeah.
Musicians. I think older listeners in general are set in their ways and they know what they like and they kind of stick with that.
Right.
And I think I heard or read something where like people listen to the most what they listened to in high school and college. So if you think about it, if you're in the older generation, it's probably still what they like and listen to. And even for me, I feel like my favorite type of music is stuff I listened to in high school, like Destiny's Child and, NSYNC and that kind of music, Christina Aguilera. Like, my heart still loves that kind of stuff the most.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Hopefully I can get you guys to start listening to my music, and then forever you'll be fans. So basically at high school and college, you guys to be on the Ayla Brown train. That's what that means to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good question. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Morgan Spuda. I write for the North Star in Macomb. How interested were you in making a career out of singing that further led to your decision to audition for American Idol?
So when I auditioned for American Idol, I was a senior in high school. So I was 17 years old. And I had never sung with a band. I had never sung really in front of anyone except family. And so it really was a long shot that I was going to be on the show. And when I got my first golden ticket, I was as surprised as anyone. But thank goodness, because it showed me how much I loved singing. And I thank them so much for giving me that opportunity, because here I am doing it 11 years later. Like, I was on the show 11 years ago, which is crazy to me. And I look at where I started and now how I've developed over the years, and I've just gotten so much stronger and more confident and comfortable in my own skin, whereas before I really was singing for the first time. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, but I just wanted to... When I started, I was truly a beginner, and now I feel as though I've learned so much.
Also, what was like the whole experience like?
Being on American Idol,
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun. I was learning things for the first time. I worked with a vocal coach, and that was exciting because she was telling me things about my projection and stage presence that I just didn't even know about, right? And so that was cool. signing an autograph for the first time was really exciting for me because, to tell you the truth, I had been practicing my autograph since the 4th grade, and no one had ever asked me for it until I was on American Idol. And so that moment for me was like a really incredible one, being able to share my music for the first time and sign an autograph. And then meeting celebrities, that was really cool. So my elimination song was a song called Unwritten. It was by Natasha Bedingfield, and no one had ever really even heard of that song before I sang it. And then after I got eliminated, I got invited to this big radio show, and she happened to be performing, and I got to introduce her to everyone in Boston at this show. And she came up to me before she went on stage, and she gave me the biggest hug, and she was like, Ayla, and she's British, so she was like, no one knew of my song in the United States until you sang it, and I want to thank you for making it go #1. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm like meeting a celebrity for one of the first times in my life, and she couldn't be any nicer. And so it told me as a performer, I was like, listen, if I'm ever a celebrity, whatever that means, I hope that I'm always nice to other people, because that interaction meant so much to me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mariah Kearney, and I'm a writer for Anchor's Chain in Lake Fenton High School. I know you said that you never really sang in front of anyone except for family before American Idol. So, like, who mainly out of your family was your biggest supporter during your American Idol time?
Hold on, you're going to have to ask that again because it froze up. Who made what?
Who was your biggest supporter during your American Idol time?
Hold on. Let's wait till it unfreezes.
Okay.
Hold on. I might have to ask you one more time. Okay, say it one more time now.
Like, during your American Idol time, who was your biggest supporter?
Oh, that's a great question. My family, my mom and dad. And because I was a minor, I was 17 years old, I had to have a parent accompany me every step of the way. So it was great for bonding, but also kind of annoying when you're like 17 and you want to be an adult and you have your mom and dad there like next to you the entire time. But it was great. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to do so well emotionally, because for the first time, you know, you're on TV in front of 35 million people, and you have viewers who hate you. Literally, they're like, you suck. And so as a performer and a new performer, I had to deal with public criticism for the first time and public acclaim, right? Like people who liked what I did. And so I needed my parents as my emotional support to get through all of those new roller coasters of emotions that I was going through for the first time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I write for the North Point at Grosse Pointe North High School. And I was wondering, so you have your own like record label or record company. Did you like start that like on your own?
Yeah, so basically the world today is so amazing for independent artists who want to release music on their own through iTunes or whatever other distribution sites that are out there. And so instead of when I moved to Nashville, hold on, do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
The last thing we heard was, can you hear me? Yes. No, well, actually, no. It looks connected still. Yeah, a little phony thing is there.
Yeah.
No green lights on. Green lights are good. Oh,
Oh, there we go. Here we go. I
All right.
lost internet for a second. My bad.
you're good. All right, yeah,
Um,
the last thing we heard was like, can you hear
Do
me?
you hear me okay? I know, my bad.
You're good,
Okay,
you're good.
we're all good now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me your question one more time because I kind of freaked out.
I was just wondering, like, what made you start your own record label instead of?
Oh, that's right. Okay. Got it. So instead of waiting for like labels to be like, oh, Ayla, you seem like someone we want to invest $1 million+ in. I wanted the opportunity to release my own music that I was super excited about and really happy and proud of. So I started an LLC. That was the first step. I started my own business. And after I did that, everything music related, I run through my LLC. And that includes publishing information to releasing records and merchandise and paying band members and receiving checks. And I have an accountant and someone who makes sure that I'm like following whatever rules I need to. And I think it's helpful because it brings me from like someone who's as a hobby to someone who's taking my business and my music career seriously. So yeah, since I moved to Nashville and have been doing this on my own, I've released everything off of Ambient Entertainment.
Would you ever consider like signing other artists to the label?
That's a great question. You're the only one who's ever asked me that. Swear to God. And I've always thought like, what happens? Because Ed Sheeran has his own record label called like Gingerbread Man Records, and he's signed some people. And I think when it comes to something like that, I would need capital to do so. And literally every penny I make has been reinvested into my own career. So if I had some sort of investor, that would be more ideal. But right now, at this point, I'm still so low on the financial totem pole that it wouldn't make financial sense for me to sign other people, because I wouldn't be able to do them the justice that they deserved in releasing, because it's expensive, So, but great question.
All right, thank you so much.
Anytime.
Hi again. Okay, that was really high pitched. My apologies. So, where do you see yourself as an entrepreneur and singer in the next 5 years?
So I found this amazing formula that has worked for the past 2 albums that I've released, and it's to find a corporate sponsor to pay for all of my music recording. And so the last one that I released, the Let Love In project, Texas Roadhouse sponsored it. I'm not going to tell you how much money they gave me because they probably wouldn't want me doing that, but they gave me enough to record the entire record. Okay? That was so important in terms of the entrepreneurial thing we're talking about, because no other person that I know of is doing that with their own music. They're not finding, they're doing like GoFund crowd engagement where people are personally paying for them, but to find a corporate sponsor where to them it's just an advertising write-off, and for me it enables me to pay for my entire record, that has been the smartest thing I've ever done. Other than that, I feel like I'm just a singer who loves what I do, but to bring what I do to a business side, that has been the most intelligent thing I could have come up with.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
My name's Caroline. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, a Spark magazine. And so I kind of wanted to touch a little on, I know that you produced the album Heroes in Hometowns, and you have gone on 5 trips overseas. So I wanted to know what the driving factor was that led to your dedication to the military and whatnot. It's like
I heard we kind of broke up a bit.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay, so the question was, I produced one of the records, and then what was it after that?
You went on 5 different trips overseas.
Yep.
And so I was wondering if there's some driving factor as to this kind of military patriotic idea.
Oh, yes. Okay. So yes, there is. So my dad was in the military for 35 years, and I have extended family that is either currently serving or has served. But to be quite honest, that was not the driving factor for the the actual album called Heroes and Hometowns. My dad was a politician. He was a United States Senator for a couple years. His name is Scott Brown. You guys can Google him if you need to. But my mom had this idea, like, hey, to all of these fundraisers, why don't you just give out the CD, like record a patriotic CD and give it out to all of these people at these, and for whatever reason or so, the prohibited me from doing that because I think he would have had to market value for each CD. And he's like, I don't want to pay for your CDs. And I'm like, oh, but I still think it's such a good idea. Like, I don't know many people who have a patriotic CD. So I found New Balance, and New Balance sponsored the whole thing. And I released the Heroes and Hometowns album under my own label, as I said before. And all of a sudden, opportunity rolling in. So I was able to sing at the Grand Ole Opry after that. I sang on national television, and I went to all of these to sing for the troops. So it really has been a record that has totally surprised me and given me so many amazing opportunities that I didn't expect.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you heard all that. I hope I
Yeah,
wasn't breaking up too
you're
much.
Hi, I'm Sheila, and I write for the Portage Northern Light. And my question for you was, how have your previous life experiences influenced your music?
Whew. It all depends on what I'm writing about. So, there are songs in there about heartbreak. There are songs that I've written about being totally in love. And all of those you have to go through, I feel like, to write. And so I've had my heart broken, and I've even broken some hearts along the way, too. So a lot of songs end up being some way about love and relationships. But I also have a song on my first record called Beat by a Girl, which is all about kicking the boys' ass, kicking butt. And so there's definitely some personal experience when it comes to writing songs about those kind of things, too. So I try and just take away a little bit from all of my experiences and write a song. And if it's relatable to another person, that's even better.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi again. I know that with your own record label and like everything you do, I know you seem to have a pretty busy life. So I just want to know, what do you do in your free time? Like, if you ever get stressed out, what do you like to do to relieve that stress?
Are we locked up again? Looks like
Frozen. I'm just thinking. I don't know. I feel like I love movies. I love going out to eat is like my thing. I love going out to eat. But I know that sounds so silly, right? But if I don't have a gig, usually I'm traveling to the next gig. That's kind of how that life works, because not all opportunities are in the same city or same area. And so I feel like I spend a lot of time not at home. And for example, I drove my car from Tennessee to New England on May 10th, and I haven't been home since. I've been living out of one suitcase for 3.5, 4 months now. And it's kind of crazy that I probably don't need all that stuff at home. Like, I need a few things here and there, but I could probably hold a yard sale when I get home, because I just have a lot of things I don't need. But to relieve stress, like New York right now, visiting my sister, spending some quality time with her, and we went to like the mall and got like reflexology foot massages yesterday, and it was the best thing ever. So I don't know, I'm pretty simple. There's nothing I really need besides good old family time here and there.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Katie Marshall, and I'm from Howell, Michigan, and I write for the Howell Main 4. And I was wondering, whether it be through songwriting, performing, or just listening, Do you find music therapeutic, and if so, how do you find it to be that way?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think every song takes you through an emotional journey, whether it be the production of it and the way it makes you feel, or if it's the lyrics and the way you feel as though your story is being told. And that's why I think music is so powerful, because when you combine those things, a production and how it sounds with what it's saying, it can be so moving. And so there's been times where you just listen to a song and all of a sudden it brings you into this totally different world, and you're like, I didn't realize I was sad until I heard this song. And then all of a sudden a happy song will come on the radio and you're like, no, I'm happy. What am I thinking? And so music in all ways can just bring you to a totally different zone.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime.
One more? Anybody else? Any follow-ups?
Anyone else?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Come on. Dive in there.
Hi again.
Hi again.
Okay, so coming from someone who is like an extreme musical background, and this is what I've been wanting to do for my entire life, my question is, what advice would you give someone who's an upcoming artist, like performing visuals, et cetera, who wants to go into this, but they're not really sure of how to get into it, but they just really want to be happy and follow their dreams?
Yeah, great question. So, the industry has changed so much since I was on American Idol and growing up, and like you guys' age. Like, we didn't have YouTube. You had to have a college email account to be even on Facebook. There was none of this social media. So my advice would be to take advantage of those social media outlets that were not available for many people growing up, and now they are. So you can be an independent artist and become really well known if that is what's driving you to success. It's impressions, then you have those at your fingertips. If it's to just be happy, that's a totally different story. You can be happy just singing in the car or in the shower, so it all depends on personal preference. And then one thing that I've learned, and it might not work with everyone because everyone's musical style is different, but I learned how to sing the national anthem at a very young age. And the national anthem has given me hundreds of opportunities to perform all around the country and the world. And there are some people who are super scared of the anthem, but to me, I embrace it, and I've learned that it's always led me to another opportunity. So I would say learn the national anthem and God Bless America, because almost every event, whether it's sports, political, community, they all need it and they all want it. So learn it.
Okay. And then my follow-up question to that, because you're talking about the national anthem, was what was it like singing at the Republican National Convention? Like, was it scary? Was it scarier than usual? Or were you like, oh, I've done this a few hundred times, I'm okay?
That was the most conservative version I've ever sung of that song, because you want to make the anthem your own, but then all of a sudden everyone started singing along with me, and I'm like, well, I can't do what I would normally do, because people would be like, no. It was such an honor. So anytime I sing the anthem, no matter at what event, I kind of just soak it all in, because it only lasts a minute and a half. It's like one of the shortest songs you'll ever sing besides Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And so I've gotten to sing it there. I've sung it at the Orange Bowl on national television. I sang it on ESPN for Monday Night Football. And every single time it brings a new energy, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in doing well, and knock on wood, never forgetting the words. But I have once when I was 12, and it scarred me for life. And I'm like, I think about it every time I sing the anthem. I'm like, don't make today be the day you forget the words again. And but I love the national anthem. I've sung it at a lot of places, and I hope to always continue singing that song.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
I have one last follow-up question. This is kind of going back to American Idol.
Okay.
Was it a lot of fun time, or was it pretty vigorous?
It was a lot of hurry up and wait. Have you ever heard that in the industry?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we need to be at the studio at 8 a.m. and then you wouldn't do anything till 5 p.m. And you're like, why are we here all this time? It makes absolutely no sense. But I feel like in any industry, there's a lot of that, especially in the music industry. For example, I had a show last week. I opened up for Leonard Skinnard in Illinois. And they wanted me there for load-in at 10 a.m. And I didn't even sing until 5:30. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but you have to load in, you got to do your sound check, you have to meet and greet with the proper people. And by the time you know it, you've spent like 8 to 12 hours at a place. Mm-hmm. And you're like, man, maybe I should charge a little bit more for this. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So there was a lot of waiting when I was on American Idol. But when you had your moment, it was like you had to be absolutely 100% ready because you've only been preparing all day for it.
Oh, I have a question. Hi. I was just wondering what your favorite concert you've ever done was.
Concert I've ever done. Wow. So there's this one, I actually just finished doing it, and I've done it for the past 5 or so years. It's in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. It's at an outdoor seashell stage where behind me is the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, which is absolutely beautiful. But over the years, I've performed there, and the past 2 years have been the first time where I've looked out in the audience and seen people singing along to my songs. Now, to me, that defines success as an artist. When you can look out in a crowd and see people singing along to a song that you've written or recorded and released. And for 2 years in a row, I've noticed that more and more people are like singing along. And to me, that is just the most amazing thing in the whole world, because that to me means that I'm making it, or I'm making an impact to them in their lives. So I would say that gig in particular, because I've come back every year and I can just see the growth, and it's been awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like us to know or that we haven't touched on?
I'm not sure when you guys are going to be putting this out, but if you could touch upon that, I have new music coming out in August that I'm really excited about. It's a song called Label, Label, and I am just really looking forward to releasing it to the world. I think it could be a game changer for me, and I really hope, I'm going to cross my fingers, but I think it could be one of those songs that people hear and they take me seriously as like a country music artist. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a breakthrough song for me.
Is it a single or is it part of an album?
It's a single. Yep. It's a single, and I think it's going to be released second week of August 14th or so. But I'm still kind of waiting on some final things.
Who recorded it? Do you have like studio musicians that you work with, or like guys on the road? Do you have is it the same group all the time, or do you hire guns?
No, it's all different. I've recorded in every single possible way. Sometimes it's the big studios where you hire the guys, and then sometimes it's been like very intimate, where one guy is recording every single instrument, and it's a longer of a process, but it's a little bit more of a connection to it. And so for this song, Label, one guy did every single instrument.
Wow. Okay.
And he was out of Georgia, and he wasn't even out of Tennessee, but he was a person who wrote me emails and Facebook messages saying, hey, we should work together. And I'm like, kind of freaked out by it. But then he sent me some songs that he had done, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love these. Maybe I need to give this guy a shot. And so I drove down to Georgia, and I recorded this song, and like, had I known he was this awesome, I would have gone to him many years ago. He's great. So I'm excited to release it to you guys.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on your Twitter for when that drops.
You got it. Awesome.
All right, Thanks so much again
All right, you guys.
for the time. We really appreciate you taking part of your day with us.
Of course. Good luck. I can't wait to see these come out, you guys.
And we'll send you links once they get this stuff written. All right. Be well.
I can't wait. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye. There it is.
See, like,
We should have asked.
yeah.
Oh.
Nobody asked her about the bar.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
want to.
oh, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I realized it